All right, hello everyone, and welcome to another one of AnneeDroid's replay cast. This is going to be match number 28777-62946. Looks like it's going to be a pretty action-packed match here. And to start off, let's take a look at our lineups, although we could have a quick clash here in the jungle. Looks like Votano and the Crystal Maiden might be scouted out here by this Enigma. Goes in immediately for the Frostbite. Axe is here, does have his spins ready, no calls available, but Ricky looking to go to town on this Enigma. Can they keep the chase up? First blood goes the way of the Dire, and it looks like they're trying to get some more here. The shrapnel from the sniper leveled up first, as opposed to the take, aim, or headshot. A little bit more of a traditional build, but seems like Lawrence just cowering behind the trees, knowing that he is not safe. Alpha male unable to lock him down. Again, that short range from the level 1 sniper with no take aim is going to be a little bit annoying, but there we go. Another level of shrapnel, and Lawrence should be forced back. An arrow comes in from Marana, will connect onto the axe. He eats it there, so it looks like Kreese is able to go snap up the bounty rune. Very nice work there. Dusa squiggles her way in, but isn't able to find anything, and it seems like the Dire should all escape scot-free. Axe about half health, but still gets everything he wants to out of that engage. Now, there may be a bit of a bug here. Certain spectator games, especially when downloaded from a file and not downloaded directly from the client, don't have the bounty runes available, which is very strange. But you can see right here, we can't see who grabbed what bounty rune. All I saw is that Axe ate an arrow for the Ricky in order for Ricky to take the bounty rune. So there was at least one bounty rune going the way of the Dire. Wasn't able to catch all the top action going down, but it looks like all the runes have been snapped up at the 0-minute mark. So hopefully everyone's enjoying their gold. Kreese just going, trying to snipe some of that experience. It looks like we are going to have some Cyrillic characters on the Marana. Kreese on the Ricky again. Must spell air on the Enigma. Over here down bottom, Wyatt Earp is going to be playing Ardusa. Going to have a bit of a tricky time against this lane of Votano on the CM, and I'm dyslexic, please have mercy on the Axe. Mid lane, our matchup is going to be Lawrence on our Shadow Fiend. Up against Alpha Male on the Sniper. I cannot think of a more classic mid-hero duel matchup. Just having some fun with it. And up top, we're going to have a one-on-one lane of our Clockwork versus Get Wrecked on the Slardar. This should be pretty even back and forth. Just going to be more about the farming, more about the getting levels than actually trying to kill each other. Of course, Get Wrecked can have some fun. He can go in for a nice crush here. In fact, Clockwork getting really low. Doesn't have his cogs on for 3 more seconds. 1 second. There he goes. Is able to cogs back the Slardar, burning up the rest of his mana. Alright, so again, Ricky just following around this Enigma, trying to go in, maybe break that clarity. It looks like the clarity was able to get off on full duration. Kreese not too keen on revealing himself at all, but now Axe comes in. Looks like this Enigma will be the focus of some damage. They're going to bring Marana in, though, with a close range arrow. She might be able to stop this. He's going to go in with the call. It will connect onto the Axe. Snake comes in, bouncing around onto 2. Wyatt Earp doing something, but Alpha Male rotating in from the mid lane. Might be able to go in. They get the Frostbite up onto the Marana, but there is no follow-up. It's Alpha Male only has 1 point in take aim and certainly no Dragonlance yet, so the range just isn't there. He's going to pop some shots onto that Medusa, but in fact Alpha Male might be the one in trouble here, getting very, very low, and will eat the arrow, will get brought down. Nice teamwork there by the Dusa and Marana. Rotation in from Kreese. He's just been sitting around trying to get a little bit of XP for himself, but he's not exactly having the easiest time in terms of KDA. Has 2 last hits to his name. Does have an assist from that first blood, but he definitely could be doing a little bit more to pump up his impact in the early game. Either going and canceling clarities for Enigma or contesting some of Enigma's farm, but just soaking experience might not be the easiest route into the game. It looks like he's going to try to go in mid, but there is going to be a sentry ward down in the Radiant sides of Kreese. He pops off that little smoke cloud, but Alpha Male, all he's going to do is get a couple of shots in before Lawrence just backs off and Tango's up back to full health. Axe here has been doing a great job just making space, not afraid to eat a little damage if it means that his teammates can actually get what they want out of the fight, which is harass, which is last hits. So Crystal Maiden, she's trying her best. A couple of autos on those creeps, but saving the last hits for her Axe. Already sitting on Tranquil Boots and a Windlace. So this guy's got movement speed, he's got regeneration. Votano going to take a tower shot or 2. Interesting play by the Crystal Maiden, just dipping up a little bit far. Is going in. We'll see if he wants to contest some of this farm or again just continue to steal last hits. Spots out the little inky courier coming through, but will not be able to go and actually try to snipe that thing down. So it looks like our Enigma is going to be doing pretty well in the jungle. 9 last hits already. Again, experience not going to be piling up in his favor. Ricky has already reached level 2 while Enigma just barely ticks it over now with that camp going down. Here Axe was able to be picked off as Crystal Maiden sat pretty far back. Looks like Axe just bit off a little bit more than he could chew. Up here in the top lane, Clockwork getting a lot of free space as we're going to have Slardar going in, trying to contest the enemy jungle, snapping up their bounty runes and whatnot. So just making space for themselves. Dire seem very at home in Radiant territory. Kreese here thinking about going in on mid lane, but of course, knowing that there was a sentry there, knowing that now Kreese is in tower range, didn't exactly path that correctly. He's going to be taking a couple more shots, and look at that raise just coming out. That is a double kill for Lawrence. That is just a Christmas gift right there. He was trying to go for the sniper and found the Riki also. Very well played. Now, Crystal Maiden and Axe might be able to get their revenge on the Dew, so she pops up her mana shield, but she's low mana, so it's not exactly going to be doing a whole lot of help. The problem is, can Axe withstand the shot of the tier 1 tower? Going to sidestep an arrow here, take some shots from Dusa. In fact, one more snake might be able to get him down low, but the snake needs mana, and Dusa doesn't really have a whole lot. Now, Votano going to be clearing up, just making sure that mana pool's nice and juicy until she can get the 4 points in Arcane Aura. Now, interesting build from this Crystal Maiden. Crystal Maiden, I believe, is the highest win rate hero in pubs right now. This Maiden is going a little bit different here. We see Crystal Nova, I mean, maybe a value point picked up early, but usually not prioritized. Definitely the Arcane Aura and the Frostbite being really useful initiation tools, sustainability tools, but this CM seems to think that Crystal Nova, that burst damage, is going to give him what he's looking for. So everyone just going back to doing their thing. Clockwork getting low, but Slardar unable to complete the task. Looks like he is going to be going in for a Vanguard. Just saving up for that Vit booster and should be A-okay to start initiating pretty deep in these fights. The Blink Crush to get things started is going to be nice. Arrow sliding on through. Axe Call a little bit off the mark and they aren't able to lock down the Dusa, but this Mirana just revealed herself and might be the target of the next engage. Votana moving in, does have the Frostbite ready. Looks like the Frostbite goes onto the Dusa, but this miscommunication is going to cost them the fight as there's not enough damage to get both heroes down. They needed to pick a target and go for the target if they wanted to have anything productive happen here, but looks like Kreese just going to be running around, almost has his level 3. Maybe looking to backstab this Dusa, but not going to be able to finish the job by himself at least. Looks like Shadow Fiend moving in will bottle himself a double damage rune. Now that is going to end up hurting the sniper if he can actually get in range. I think the sniper needs to start prioritizing staying out of the Shadow Fiend's way, which means maximum take aim, grabbing an early Dragon Lance, but still going to prioritize that shrapnel. It's a really strong, really viable sniper build at this point in the game. Super strong against Monkey King. If you're looking for that counter to Monkey King and just haven't found anything that works to you, my go-to is Sniper Max Shrapnel. Pick up the talent trees that give you more shrapnel DPS, that gives you more shrapnel charges, get the cooldown reduction, and just make it rain on that stupid monkey bitch. Looks like Slardar going to be rotating down. He's about halfway towards that Vit booster. Sure would love a couple of positive points in this fight to be able to take him down. Now Lawrence does have that DD rune in his bottle. Could opt to pop it, turn up, and man up here. Clockwork goes in, gets the hook shot off onto Alpha Male. Sniper trapped in the cogs will go down. They do get Lawrence in exchange, both mids out of the fight. And it looks like Dire, they might want to continue something. Pop in that, it's not amp damage anymore. What the fuck is it? Corrosive Haze. Onto the Clockwork. Yeah, no, it's still amp damage. We're going to use Slardar's old skill names because the new ones are stupid. Axe still working on his farm here. He saved up about 800 gold, so probably going to be prioritizing a Blink Dagger, assuming he doesn't need to go for a Vanguard of his own. They've already got Slardar, getting very close to that Vanguard, actually, to be able to go into the fights, be that initiator, eat some of the damage. Our Crystal Maiden looks like she might be going towards an urn, but it is slow going towards her. Should maybe pick up a Windlace in the interim before she's able to finish off the Tranquils, but either way, she's finding the movement speed she needs. As she does finish off the Tranquils, she's going to fly him in. Should have that value TP in the inventory, but we'll see what's going to happen without it. Mid lane, Alpha Male on our Sniper going to go right back to farming. Looks like he is not taking any time away, but the last hits are really telling a scary tale for the Dire side. Lawrence on our Radiant Shadow Fiend, 43 and 20. Alpha Male is sitting back at only 15 and 3. Definitely not an even lane towards that mid. I mean, kills tell a story. Snipers died 3 times. Shadow Fiends only died once. It's going really well. Now down here, we are going to have a nice call going in. Mirana Arrow going to be eaten up by the Axe. The Stusa will finally go down. She's got no more mana. She's silenced up, and now they are able to get that Frostbite onto the Mirana. She's going to be leaping herself away. Looks like she's going to reinitiate here. Not expecting the Riki to come back through. There is no more mana for another Frostbite, so it's all down to Axe to actually get in there, go for the call. He doesn't have any points in Battle Hunger, a bit unusual. Axe, they like to grab that battle hunger early just to make sure no one's running away from a fight with just a scrape of health, and it seems like that's exactly what Mirana's going to be doing here. So laning phase, looking at overall net worth, looks like Radiant's getting a bit more out of it, and one thing you really got to keep your eyes on is this Shadow Fiend is just getting off to a phenomenal start. He's going to go Sanctuary himself up. Kreese knows exactly what's up, but again, not revealing himself, just slowly soaking levels. He's going to be level 5 now. Looks like he's got some wards in his stash, so definitely playing more of that support Riki, not trying to maximize the damage, not trying to go for those really early spooky ganks, just sitting back, getting what he can. Our sniper has picked up his face boots, and it looks like Dragonlance is going to be next on the list, definitely prioritizing keeping himself away from that Shadow Fiend, picking up some more stats for himself, but again, the 3 points in Shrapnel are going to mean he just has less in take aim, so even the extended range of the Dragonlance isn't going to be doing as much as he could potentially be doing if he had built differently, but we'll see if that max shrapnel is going to come in handy for him. Now Votano is going to be solo down bottom as Axe has just taken a vacation to the grave, and Dusa finally getting some free farm for herself, but she's still sitting pretty far down, 31-0. Compare that to even your jungling Enigma's 48-1. Of course, the mid Shadow Fiend now at 51-21 is just raking in the souls there. Votano going to be forced to go back. Could just shrine up right here and fly herself into TP. We'll see if she's going to make that full trip back to base. Up on this top lane, Kreese has rotated onto the Clockwork. Clockwork's hookshot is on cooldown. They're trying to burn up some of his mana, but unfortunately, one attempt from the Riki will give Clockwork all the info he needs just to back up, stay under the safety of his own tower, and not give any more kills, potentially, to that Slardar. Slardar is still sitting on the glory of that first blood kill. His farm is adequate at 32-8, but with a pretty much free lane, you expect a little bit more. Maybe even something like a Quelling Blade could have helped him out. We'll see here. He's just having a little bit of trouble picking up the last hits that should be just freebies. Now, over here in the mid lane, it looks like there is going to be Alpha Male finished off by another glorious raise from the Shadow Fiend. The tower goes down, and now it's just Kreese versus the world here against 3 Radiant heroes. He's really going to try to reinitiate here. Looks like Lawrence going to be bottling up, just feeling really, really good about what he's accomplished. Looks like Silver Edge is going to be in that quick buy for him, so trying to get that sneak going in, trying to get those passive breaks, just making it a little bit tougher for the Dire team to rotate around and be sneaky. Now, amp damage comes out. Can they actually go in? They get the stun, and looks like the arrow will be eaten up. He's going to go try to get those souls going, but is going to be interrupted by that bash from Get Wrecked. Moonlight Shadow will ensure his escape. Now, bottom lane, these two are definitely thinking about plotting something onto Dusa. Dusa's had a bit of a tough lane. Again, her farm is not ideal. She's got herself a death. And now here we go from up the lane. There is going to be that wraparound. Axe is going to go in for a call. The root comes out. They're actually going to drop the Crystal Maiden Freezing Field just to make sure they get that kill. It goes the way of Votano. Just getting more gold on those supports early on. Definitely going to benefit. Now Crystal Maiden with over 1,000 gold in the bank. Either thinking about a Blink Dagger or something expensive, or just hasn't had the chance to go back and shop for a little bit. Kreese going to pick up some Tranquil Boots of his own, along with some more wards, just keeping this map a little bit more visible for the Dire side. You can see this nice deep ward here on the Radiant territory, but in terms of wards that are actually given a lot of information, not a whole lot. We can see here, maybe they'll see some Radiant rotations around the Ancient Pit, but maybe a little bit more information in each jungle would be useful. Looks like Enigma is going to be alone here. The rotation in of the Riki could be something to start the game off. And here we go. A call under the tier 1 tower. Axe is definitely bold here. Will go in with the dunk. Snipers assassinate. Not even needed. There are going to be more heroes making their way towards the bottom lane. Looks like Riki will be the scout for that, revealing the Clockwork in the jungle. Dusa coming in from under that tier 1 tower. Hookshot in onto the Axe. Crystal Maiden does not have a freezing field. She's running very low on mana. The arrow going to come in. Clockwork going to get the kill onto that Axe. Now Votana running for his life. Dusa pops into that stone case, and Kreese could be in some trouble here. Wants to fade back into invisibility. Will be able to do so. And it looks like there is no vision on board to scout him out. Rotation back in onto Lawrence. He does go down. His soul's released. Now it looks like Mirana, maybe the next target here. Kreese going to be stumbling after him, and oh, they do see that low health Dusa. They sure would like to initiate. Frostbite comes in from Votano. She's now fresh out of mana. Can the Slardar come in? The Crush connects onto 2. Silence Cloud from the Riki, but they're lacking the damage to actually get anything done. Dust comes out from the Enigma as a panic moment to make sure the Riki's not around. Looks like this fight will end up in a stalemate. Sure, they get the Shadow Fiend. They do have to sacrifice the Axe very early on. So 1-for-1 trade overall. Everyone's going to shrine up on the side of the Dire. And just go back and reset. In terms of overall net worth, it is still sitting in favor of the Radiant. You look at who's doing what, and Shadow Fiend is just definitely pulling his weight on this team. His farm is just kind of absurd now. Almost 70 last hits at 14 minutes into the game, and 23 denies against the Sniper, really limiting his farm now. Looks like Dusa is unfortunately going to eat some damage once again. Assassinate comes in onto the Mirana. It's not going to be doing enough. Do they have the follow-up from the Riki? Goes in with the ultimate. Cannot catch this Mirana. One more backstab could have done the trick. The blink forward and the crush from the Slardar will do what they need. And now here we go. Enigma, maybe thinking about that black hole. You got that Crystal Maiden, bub. Good work, son. All right, and they got the vision there from that Corrosive Haze. He's going to go ahead and keep himself nice and healthy. He will pick up a double kill, but so will get wrecked. There's going to be an assortment of heroes dead on either side. Meanwhile, we do have our Axe back to farming. Looks like his Vanguard is nowhere to be found. Did you just bail on his Vanguard plans? It's not on the courier. I don't know. We'll see if he ends up going back for that Vanguard or not, because he's got 2 components of it. Lawrence just chugging around. Looks like he's still working on his Shadow Blade. Only about 600 gold off till he's able to pick up that little Shadow Amulet. Over here in the river, Frag already showing off that blade mail. Arrow skirts on through, will not clip onto Axe, but here we go. We got the Riki ready to start things off. Blink back forward, and Riki under the smoke cloud decides to turn things in onto the Mirana, but just really lacking damage, and it looks like Axe will end up eating it here. Sure wishes he had a Vanguard now, but unfortunately just not able to do anything. Kreese just sitting back and watching in a lot of these engages, definitely taking his time before he just kind of blossoms and comes online and is able to be that slash and scary Riki that we all know and hate. So Votano here looks like still working on her items, does have enough to go back in for that Blink Dagger very, very soon if that's what she's prioritizing. We already have the Blink Crush on Get Wrecked, and living up to his name, just punishing that Dusa. That poor Medusa is now 0-4 in this safe lane in terms of net worth, sitting below the Crystal Maiden. This is a Dusa that is absolutely dead in the water. Unless something changes this game, this is going to be a very low impact position 1. It's going to come down to the Shadow Fiend to really get everything done. Now there is going to be our little Slardar stuck in the cogs. Moonlight Shadow comes in, so the Radiant, they're trying to be sneaky, they're trying to rotate in, but Votano does have the damage to go in for this, has the Freezing Field, and the Assassinate will finish everything off. So in the end, an initiation from the Radiant results in Clockwork's own death. So our Enigma here, he's chugging along. Looks like he is working towards his Blink Dagger. We'll have that up in a couple more creeps. But the Arcanes and the Ring of Basilius at 16 minutes in, it's not exactly top tier farm from our Enigma, but he did have a Riki there, sapping his XP, maybe taking a last hit or 2. Does now find his Blink, so mobility is going to be super, super key for all these heroes. I mean, you've now got Enigma with a Blink, you've got Shadow Fiend with a Shadow Blade, Mirana with her Leap, Clockwork with his Hook, Riki with his Blink, or his Blink Strike rather, whatever it's called, Slardar with his Blink, Axe with his Blink. There is just absolute mobility everywhere. And we're going to see how that plays out moving forward into this game. You've got 2 dire heroes sitting here, scattered out by Lawrence, just deciding to bail immediately. Now there's going to be a nice Blink rotation in from Kreese, who pops into his ult. There is going to be a nice silence coming in. The Dusa, once again, just bites the dust. There is going to be no black hole for 13 more seconds. Soul's release from Lawrence, doing a fair number of work on Get Wrecked, and Get Wrecked does, in fact, get wrecked. Axe trying to run for his life, goes in. A couple of spins land on Lawrence. Negative earn charge. Will it be enough? Along with the Assassinate, does not appear so. Riki, though, with the Blink Strike, is able to finish the job. It comes at the expense of his own life, but definitely still worth it. Support Riki for that mid top tier carry Shadow Fiend. Going to be a good payout for the Dire now. Looking at overall net worth, it is going to be right back to 0. And overall XP is going to be slightly in favor of the Dire at this point. Clockwork sitting back, going to be getting kind of close to his hand of Midas, anticipating this game going long, wanting to get the most out of his time on the map so he can be constantly rotating, constantly gaking, without having to worry about sitting in lane to get farm, to get money, to afford his next tier of items. Dusa decides to move lanes. I mean, she is absolutely starving here. 0-5 in terms of net worth. She is still going to be third to last. The Mirana on the Radiant side also doing not fantastically. She's 3-1-3 in terms of KDA, but just hasn't found herself a whole lot of farm, a whole lot of items yet, and there is going to be that moving forward. Blink Crush coming in from Slardar. They bring the Riki in as well, and there's the Clockwork trying to save the day, but he gets silenced up as he does hook himself right into that smoke cloud, and it looks like he will pay the ultimate price as well, finished off by the axe. The Culling Blade doesn't do the trick, so that's going to be on cooldown for a great deal, but still worthwhile to get those 2 free picks. Again, Clockwork trying to be the hero there, trying to hook in and save his deuce. I just didn't anticipate the Riki smoke cloud being laid out for him, so he couldn't cogs, he couldn't battery assault. He just had to sit there and take it. Lawrence snaking on through. Going to be working on that ultimate orb, but halfway there. Has a Shadow Blade already, so he can be sneaky. He can disengage pretty easily from these fights. And, well, speaking of disengaging, doesn't look like Enigma's going to be able to do that. Just gets completely pounded by that crush from the Slardar, so get wrecked. I mean, he's doing phenomenally for himself. 6-1-6, already has the Blink, Vanguard, Treads, and he's got 1,000 more gold on top of that, whether he wants to go in for a Crimson Guard, a Force Staff. He can do anything he wishes. At this point, he's just so farmed. Kreese again, just acting like the shadow for all the Radiant heroes, making sure Lawrence is scouted out. Gonna see the Mirana moving in as well. The rest of the Dire might want to engage on this. They bring in the Crystal Maiden, who's got her freezing field. They bring in the Sniper, who's doing well in terms of right clicks. Sniper has finished off his Dragon Lance, and there we go. Crystal Maiden just pops in, gets it done, and looks like that Assassinate will not be enough, but the Riki Slashes will be able to do so. The Shrapnel is actually, I believe, what got that done. And, well, Moonlight Shadow Kitty Cat coming on through. Going to be scouting out 2 more heroes here and might be wanting to go onto Votano. Looks like Votano may be in a bit of trouble, though Kreese is going to be right here. One more shot from the Dusa will finish off the CM. Again, a real premature Assassinate coming in onto this Mirana. Negative earn from the Riki. Will it be enough? Looks like it's ticking her down slowly but surely, and there is no heal available on her team. Oh, she's trying. Oh, just barely not enough. And now back in the war zone, we are going to have Sniper going down as he tried to just go and 1v1, which is not a favorable engage for a Sniper. Dusa lets her Stone Gaze rip. Nice Black Hole to follow up. They've got the combination. They're sitting there, and they will be able to find the kill on Get Wrecked. No vision for Kreese, so he will be able to escape, but Dire underestimating the fighting power of the Radiant, especially with that Black Hole getting off. Very well played by that Enigma. Now Shadow Fiend back in the fight, moving in towards that mid lane. Still keen to show off that Shadow Blade with a well-placed gank. He's doing a ton of damage now. When he gets his souls back up to max, he will start having a fun time. Crystal Maiden, again, has her Blink Dagger. Still sitting on just the casual gauntlets. Looks like she's abandoned plans of going for the urn as Riki has finished it off much earlier than she could have. We'll look at Axe here, and looks like he has finished off his Vanguard. Opting to go back in, so double Vanguards here. Slardar and Axe both going to be pretty tanky, wanting to Blink, initiate, be that frontliner. And now all they need is the damage to follow that up, and that's going to come out from the Sniper. It looks like he has gone in for the Maelstrom, a great farming tool, great source of just easy peasy damage. It's always fun when one of your lightning procs ends up getting a kill for you. I've had that happen. You're just shooting a wave and all of a sudden there's a real low health enemy nearby. Speaking of low health enemies, hey, there's Lawrence, and he's dead. He started off the game so triumphantly. He was top of the net worth chart without being contested by anyone, and now it looks like he might slip to second place behind the Slardar. As Slardar goes in under this tower, looking to take another kill. Sniper picks it up with a well-placed Assassinate, and that's going to be 2 more heroes dead on the side of the Radiant. Dire starting to take a decisive advantage. Net worth going to be back to even, but XP is slowly ticking in favor of our Dire squads. Looking at levels, we are going to see even our supports hitting that 13, so able to get that first tier of talent tree. Magic resistance being picked up by the CM instead of damage. Interesting choice. I feel like at this point, Dire team is lacking a bit of damage, just waiting for the Sniper to get online, but we'll see how that's going to affect him here. He's only level 12, so does not have access to that level 2 tree yet. Just going to be picking up the attack speed. Solid choice. Definitely doesn't need the mana regen when you've got a Crystal Maiden with 4 points in Arcane Aura. Axe trying to be the bodyguard here, forcing back everyone. There is going to be a TP in from Lawrence. He's level 15 and has that extra bit of health now. So maybe a little bit more difficult to kill. But Axe looks like he's still going to go try his best. They blink in here. The arrow going to be eaten by the Axe. There is going to be no Black Hole as it was used previously in the fight. Lawrence going to be trying to Shadow Blade his way away, and there is going to be no Assassinate to follow up. So Lawrence gets out scot-free, and they're able to take out the Axe. So this time the poor engage is on the side of the Dire. Reinitiation attempt from Get Wrecked. He's still trying here, but taking some tower shots and not really getting any fruits for his labor. Back in towards the mid lane, we've got the Radiant Heroes rotating around, scouting out Alpha Male coming in. They're able to get the Malefice on him. They've got the hook shot. Alpha Male eats the arrow, and it looks like this will be his end. One more hit from the Clockwork. Unfortunately, hook shot not able to re-engage on the Crystal Maiden, but still, they definitely get a very valuable pick there from the sniper. Slardar going to be picking up that Ogre Club. First step in the Echo Saber, so trying to maximize bash procs, trying to maximize damage output from his initiations. Good play here by Get Wrecked. We'll see how quickly he's able to actually get that done. In terms of talent tree, he's going to be level 17, one of the highest in the game right now. So he's going for that extra attack speed, and that means he's just going to be hitting hard, hitting fast. He wants to be the initiator. He wants to have all the fun here, and well, speaking of having fun, Dusa is not having any, as she may go down for the 7th time here. She's squiggling her way to freedom, puts on the mana shield, but without a mana pool, that ain't doing a whole lot here. And the Crimson Guard is complete from the axe. That's what he was doing with that Vanguard, so just making sure his team can withstand the right clicks coming out of the Radiant side. Our Enigma does have his Black Hole online with his Blink Dagger at the ready. Seems like Dire, they're just asking for it, clumping up so tightly here, but the problem is follow-up damage. Who's really doing the damage here? It's going to be that Shadow Fiend that's feeling ferocious, he's feeling great, he's got his Silver Edge online, he's right-clicking like a champ, but is still being initiated on pretty heavily. Here we go, Axe going in, there's going to be a Cogs just dumping out Votano. Try to get off that ult, man. There's a lot of Radiant Heroes, low health around you. Looks like he's just going to sit back, relax, going to be going in for that Crystal Nova instead of going in for the Freeze. Freeze may have been the better play there. Getting off that Frostbite. Now there is going to be an arrow scraping on through the Assassinate, helping out. Axe does end up killing himself on the final death requiem of the Shadow Fiend, so cute little play there, but it does still mean that Shadow Fiend is dead. Axe is going to buy back, and it looks like Dire, they're keen to just keep going. They get their momentum, and they want to keep pushing. They want to grab something else for their time, and this 1-7 Dusa may just be a nice plump snack. Arrow being shot out. Vision game a little bit weak from the Radiant side right now. They're going in. They'd sure love to get a pick on this. Murano is going to be leaping away. Axe does not have that Blink Dagger. Going to go in with the call, with the Battle Hunger, and the dunk slides right on through. It's not going to get them the kill, but at least Kreese is able to pick himself up a little bit more gold for himself. Now working towards that Diffusal Blade, just finishes it off now, so he's going to be having a bit more impact here, especially on heroes like the Dusa that rely on having that mana pool. He can just cripple them, he can purge off some nice juicy buffs from our Shadow Fiend, and well, let's just have some fun with that. Kreese, unfortunately, not going to be able to purge off Dust, one of the main reasons Ricky used to grab Diffusal Blade earlier on before 7.0, but with the changes to Diffusal Blade, you can't self-purge. So we'll see how that's going to affect the Ricky, if he's keen on that change or not. In terms of Dust, we've got Clockwork sitting on a little bit of vision. Dusa, nothing. Marana just building straight towards her Ag. She has just got her eyes on the prize. Shadow Fiend, he does have 3 Dusts here, so he's very eager to take a fight versus the Ricky. Could definitely lock him down if he gets that vision. And looks like Enigma does have Dust in his stash, but gonna have to wait for that 6-second cooldown if he gets wind of anything going on now. Now Votano just goes in. It's gonna get hookshot. Bit of a cheeky engage from the Crystal Maiden. There's not a whole lot of backup coming in as Marana TPs through. There's gonna be Ricky just sitting there on the ground slashing things out, but of course we've got Dust for days, and they are able to reveal him. Kreese trying to backstab his way to freedom, but it does not look like that's gonna be successful. Taking a fight under the enemy shrine. Not exactly a winning move. Alpha Male sitting back. Looks like he's going in for a Shadow Blade of his own, but again, with all the vision being picked up on the Radiant side for the Ricky, I don't know how well that Invis is going to serve Alpha Male here. He's doing pretty well for himself, now climbing to 3rd on that net worth chart. Shadow Fiend is still sitting on top. Again, he's got himself the Silver Edge. Looks like he is going in for a BKB next, but does still have a lot of work to do to make sure the sniper stays at bay, to make sure even the Slardar is controlled, because Slardar definitely giving Lawrence a run for his money. Already has that Echo Saber completed and another 1,000 golds on top of Treads, Vanguard, Echo Saber, Blink. He's really getting himself going, and he's 8-3-8. Nice hook shot real deep into enemy territory onto Alpha Male. Alpha Male stands not a chance here. Crystal Maiden, again, prioritizing that Crystal Nova, has 3 points in it. I just don't think it's going to serve as well as maybe more points in that Frostbite would have early on. Ult picked up from the Crystal Maiden, cancelled, of course, by the Malefice. And now we have Lawrence thinking about going in for a raise. Get wrecked, moving forward. Votano gets a kill onto the Enigma. And now that means no black holes more into this fight. They need vision of this Shadow Fiend. With the Moonlight Shadow, with the Silver Edge, I think Dire should definitely be starting to pick up some dust and some sentries. Lawrence trying to re-engage here. He's Silver Edged up. Who's he going to go on here? Well, not anything to help Esmeralda. Esmeralda will still be going down, and now here is Silver Edge is on cooldown. Axe, once again, early with that Culling Blade. Still will be able to find the kill onto Lawrence. Get wrecked, picks up another one. 9, 3, and 10 now. Almost 2,000 gold. Our little fish boys growing up. About 30 minutes into the game, looking at overall net worth, still a really even game. Radiant picking up a little bit of momentum. Again, they are farming pretty well. They're keeping their lanes pushed. They've got some towers to their names. But overall XP is still slightly in favor of the Dire. I think these levels are going to start to add up more and more, and you're going to start to notice the impact of not having a productive Medusa. Our Medusa, she's just sitting here in the top lane. She's picked herself up a Dragonlance. She's got a Vlad's great, but still no Lincolns, still no items that are going to help her mana pool, going to help her damage. At this point in the game, you'd like an Eye of Scotty Lincolns. Like that's not unreasonable for a Medusa at 30 minutes in, and she's just not at that point here. She's 1 and 7, and you're really going to start to see the impact of Radiant just not having enough damage. Mirana, she'll bring a ton of damage with her Aghanims, but she does need to get up close and personal. Similar story with Shadow Fiend. His Raise, his Requiem, they can do a ton. His right clicks are going to be great, especially with that Silver Edge, but after that initial unload of damage, you don't have a whole lot of sustainability. There's not any real healers on the side of the Radiant. Enigma has gone for the mech, most likely working on Guardian Graves, but again, that's one situational item. It's not going to be a staple of their team fight. Now here we are going to have Radiant getting pounced on in their own territory. Dusa going in with a Stone Gaze, but they should be able to finish her off before it's even over. Kreese picks up that kill with his ultimate there. Those tricks of the trade going to work, and picking himself up now at 5, 3, and 19 kill score. I was a little harsh on the Riki early on as he was just going around and shadowing and not getting any farm for his own, but it was all the long con here. Once he picks up that Diffusal Blade, he is just an absolute animal, rotating with his team. Very good teamwork on the side of the Dire. Keeping that Dusa completely offline. There's just no way she can go into a fight and have it be productive for her team. Axe now sitting on 2,100 more gold. We'll see what he wants to work towards here. Could be something like a Shiva's, could be an Assault Cuirass if he wants to stack even more armor, even more tankiness on his side, because honestly, I think if Dire realize that the Radiant's problem is lack of damage, they can absolutely capitalize on that by building tanky, by building in a way that they know that Radiant cannot bust through them. Now Alpha Male here going to show off a Shadow Blade of his own. Dust still being carried by our Shadow Fiend. No dust being carried on the Dire side. Moving forward there. Get wrecked. Going to be moving in. They do have the Assassinate now, and one more hit will be enough. It looks like there was no attempt to go into that Silver Edge form. The Fade would have been too much anyway. And Get Wrecked picks up another victim. Axe in the mid lane, moving forward. Votano getting low in the cogs, trapped with the clockwork. Axe wants to reinitiate onto our Enigma. He has his black hole going, and this is a prime opportunity. He is able to pick up one of the black hole, gets down the Axe, at least his first life, and Ricky's going to hop back up. Eager to go back in. The dust will be there, but they still kill off the clockwork anyways. Kreese, he's going to go heal himself up, and they go in. They get the call onto that Enigma and just bashes for days. This time the Culling Blade works. Axe gets it done, so we get that speed boost, gets that refresh, and it looks like Dire are starting to be a little bit unstoppable here. All of the Radiant still sitting in the grave. Crystal Maiden joins them, but she'll be up soon. She's picked herself up for level 17, so as soon as she hits 20, could pick up that minus 35-second respawn time and just be perma-fighting with her team. Our Slardar, level 22 already, going with the extra damage rather than armor. Not the choice I would have made, again, realizing that Radiant have very little damage to put out without their Dusa right clicks. You could have gone with armor, and then Radiant can't do shit to you, man. They can tickle you, but that's about it. Moving forward, going in with the crush with the call. This Mirana stands no chance, and Kree picks up the kill for that. Jumping in at the last second, snapping that one up, and it looks like Kreese will be finishing off the Yule's Scepter. A little more movement speed, a little more lockdown, a little more sustainability in these fights. Alpha Male still chugging along, again having that Maelstrom going in towards the Sanj and Yasha. Interesting pick here for the sniper, a little bit outdated, but we'll see if it's going to come out here. Now Get Wrecked will most likely fall, does end up going down to the Clockwork Flare, but Alpha Male goes, avenges his death, picks off that Enigma with one shot. And now Clockwork going in with that Blade Mail Alpha Male. You got to watch yourself, man. Can't keep right-clicking that, but either way, Blade Mail can't last forever, and that is going to be an easy pick onto the Clockwork. Culling Blade held back this time. It's Kreese. He's just going to be on a mega kill streak. This Ricky Started slow, but definitely crescendoing into his own now. And looks like Desolator will be next on his shit list. Just going forward, building up everything he needs. And Lawrence, the once great king of mid lane, is now sitting second on the net worth chart, just having to silver edge his way back to his base for safety. Alpha male now just sitting back, getting very, very close to that Sange and Yasha. Again, not a sniper build you see a whole lot. Usually going straight into that full Mjolnir is prioritized. Picking up a Desolator of your own is going to be great. Eye of Scotty even could be a solid choice here, but we'll see how much work Alpha Male is going to get done with that Sange and Yasha. Eager to see it. It's been a while since S&Y Sniper has been hanging around my pubs. Crystal Maiden goes in for the Aghanim Scepter, so she's feeling good. Just got to make sure she actually gets off that ult. Holding it back a bit more than necessary. I think this Crystal Maiden just got to go in and drop the base there. Just go, blink, freeze, and drop the spells. And there's really not much anyone on Radiant can do about it. Of course, the damage is going to be canceling blink daggers. They're really not going to be able to go and walk themselves out in time with that slow effect. So we'll see how well the Aghanims affects her ability to use that ult in really well-placed situations. It's been great so far. Our Slardar, he has a Desolator of his own here, so Ricky going to be going in with the double Deso build. Not ideal, but I think Dire are in that point where they've got a little bit of wiggle room to themselves. We see how close it was all game, but now Dire just pick up their swing of momentum. Let's take a look here, though, as Get Wrecked may have bitten off more than he could chew. Kreese is coming in, though, pops that smoke cloud, keeping the silence going. There's going to be a BKB shown off by Lawrence. Sniper, maybe not best to ult the full health BKB'd Shadow Fiend, but you know. Kree's going to get picked up with that little Malefish. Just going to be standing there, standing still. Arrow will connect. Beautiful job there. Now they know where he's at. Do they have the dust available on the Shadow Fiend? They do not. It's going to be earned up, running for freedom. It looks like Crystal Maiden just going to be ulting on the low ground, able to pick herself up the kill on the Enigma. And now you see this Dusa just gets completely pummeled. Moving forward, Crystal Nova coming in, and Kreese should be able to go with a Blink Strike and the Assassinate. Finish off that Dusa. This poor Snake, she's 111. That is just not winnable for a Dusa. Alright, Sange and Yasha Sniper completed. He's level 21 and has picked up the extra armor, so not going to prioritize going and finishing off that Shrapnel build. He started off wanting to go for the Shrapnel build, put a couple levels, I believe it was 3 levels in Shrapnel with only 1 level in Take Aim. Picked up the Shrapnel DPS, but instead of going with the cooldown reduction, went with the armor, and I like this choice because, again, Radiant just have no damage. So Alpha Male becoming a little bit tankier means he's going to be around longer in these fights, really reading the game well and capitalizing on the Radiant's weaknesses here. Alright, Photana moving forward. Looks like a BKB of his own is going to be on the horizon here. Crystal Maiden just wanting to jump in and dance like no one's watching, but maybe a Glimmer Cape could have been a smaller step towards that, but I guess wanting to make sure Mirana's Ags goes unrewarded. Definitely a big item for this Mirana to pick up, but she hasn't really gotten a whole lot out of it, as of course you leap into a fight to actually drop the Ags ult or Ags Starstorm and you're immediately pummeled off by these frontliners like Axe. Gonna go in for the call here onto the Clockwork. The Clockwork just gonna go pop out his blade mail. Ricky just slashing through him from underneath. There's a BKB popped out by the Clockwork, but he still goes down. 4-man black hole Sniper is gonna be aiming here, popping out the shrapnels. It looks like everyone did live through the black hole. They lose the Crystal Maiden immediately afterwards. Now Lawrence is gonna be BKB'd. Moonlight shadowed up, trying to chase down the Sniper, but he's going to be shadow blading himself away. Maybe trying to wrap around Kreese. They still want to go for anything here. The Shrine going to be activated for just the Mirana. So all the other Radiant heroes just running for themselves. Interesting play there. I feel like could have been nullified if the Sniper were aiming more for the Enigma there rather than trying to just throw out as many shrapnels as possible. Could have perhaps landed a headshot. That little mini bash. Does it cancel black hole? I believe so. There we go. Get wrecked moving forward. Again, he's just going to be at the top of the net worth chart. You see how quickly that thing changed. For the first couple, 10, 15 minutes of the game, it was dominated by Lawrence here doing super well. The Clockwork as well, very close to the top of the chart. But now Slardar, Sniper, Axe, They've all just really hit their stride, and the Axe still holding on at this point in the game. Usually you expect Axes to kind of start to drop off. Their initial tankiness, their initial initiations are kind of dealt with at this point, but it seems like Radiant's still struggling to deal with that blink crush from the Slardar, that blink in from the Axe. Now we've got sentries being taken out here, so Radiant overtakes the area where their shrine once was, but still, it's a small victory in the Vision War, but the overall war seems like it's being won by Dire right now. About 15, 16,000 net worth in their favor. Overall XP is starting to move their way as well, over 20,000. That's going to be huge. Taking a look at overall levels, you see that there's just a huge divide here, where you've got your Medusa and your Mirana that don't even have their level 20 skill tree available here. The Dusa, really, there's no excuse for that. Unable to grab that extra mana that would make the mana shield a little bit more powerful. Unable to grab the extra agility that would bring more damage to the Dusa. Instead, just sitting back, chugging with that 19 and a quarter. And then we have heroes like our Ricky, who's 23, almost at that 25 skill tree point, where he can grab multipliers for his backstab. He can grab a better smoke screen, which he's been using really effectively this fight. Now here we're going to have Clockwork stuck in. Let's get a chance to use his Blade Mail after all. Looks like he's going to be Moonlight Shadowed out. Pops his BKB immediately before he goes down. That's just going to be a wasted charge. Dust comes in. They find Kreese. He's going to go Yules himself, waiting for the rest of his allies to come in. Looks like they're just not going to deal with him. Yules is able to purge off that dust. They're not going to go again. There's going to be the blink in from the Axe. Kreese taking a lot of damage. There is going to be the black hole coming back out, but Enigma killed off by the underlying Ricky. Looks like Lawrence is able to find a kill for himself on the sniper. Wants to go in for Votano, but Lawrence is just getting nipped down too low. Oh man, the Slardar and the Ricky just jumping at his heels, biting him down, and he's not able to finish off the squishy Crystal Maiden, sitting at about 10% health. And looks like the rest of the Dire are going to move forward as it's a full wipe on the Dire's, or rather on the Radiant side. Clockwork, he'll be up in 3 seconds. Might be able to find a hook shot on the CM and get a kill or something, but it's not looking great. It looks like this high ground is about to be cracked for the second time. There we go. Thank you, chat. Headshot does not mini bash anymore, but Assassinate does. So Sniper could have assassinated to stop the black hole, but, well, either or here. He's going to learn his lesson. And, well, Clockwork just completely punished down. Sniper, the only one still in the grave. Kreese just having a real fun time here. This Ricky is getting everything he wants to, and it looks like he's going to be building into an Eye of Scotty. Just those right clicks, absolutely something that the Radiant cannot deal with here. You look at their survivability, and they've got BKBs, they've got escape tools in that Silver Edge and the blink and leaps away, but they just can't teamfight here. You can't have Mirana blinking in to try to drop the Starstorm without facing significant risk of death. Now Axe here is thinking about reinitiating himself, but without the rest of his team all nearby, might not be the best option. Again, there is still a significant portion of their team fight damage being done by the Sniper, who has that full Mjolnir, and he's going to be sitting here in this bottom lane after respawning and TPing in. So everyone just slowly chugging along. The rest of the Dire grouping up to reset, re-engage. Shrine still on cooldown for a little bit, but they're not too low on mana. Crystal Maiden's level 4 aura, going to be doing a great deal of help there. Alright, looks like they're moving in, as there is going to be Clockwork just going in. He BKBs off. Medusa disconnects, as she had just had about enough of this game. Votano, man, use your ult, bro! Alright, so Crystal Maiden, again, very hesitant, very cautious. I feel like Votano could be a little bit more aggressive, especially considering how well this game is going for him and his team. Just, again, pop that BKB, pop that ult. You got the Aghanim Scepter. There's nothing to feel bad about. My goodness, that Moonlight Shadow Mirana just got completely done. It seems like at 42 minutes in, there is a finite time where the Radiant can hold on to this. They can turn this right now if they go and they team wipe the Dire about twice. But where's the damage to do so? I mean, they've got the Mirana Ags, but she's in the grave for another 50 seconds. They've got Shadow Fiend right clicks, but even through the BKB, he can barely deal with the damage now. He's going to go in. There's going to be that Stone Gaze coming out from the Dusa. Crystal Maiden, will you please ult? Crystal Maiden's going to be going in. She does end up starting her ult there, and well played, is able to get the kill onto that Shadow Fiend, almost costing Axe's life with that Death Requiem. Meanwhile, Kreese just going to town on the Dusa, who disconnected, reconnected, and then died. Does have buyback if necessary, but at the cost of having almost no items. Looks like Lincoln Sphere is going to be next up, but at 43 minutes in, you really do expect a little more progress here. After a really tough laning phase, there wasn't a whole lot of space for Dusa to farm, but at some point you just got to create farm out of nothing, because having a Vlad's isn't going to help you. Marana coming in, just immediately slashed down. You see how low health the Riki is. He is picked off by the Clockwork. Now Crystal Maiden could move forward, could try to go in. Oh, PKB means no more Frostbite for you, but Alpha Male still able to chunk down these racks. Has that Shadow Blade for easy escape if necessary. It looks like Eidolons are going to be the only thing trying to stop the Dire squad now. Black Hole is available, but of course Sniper can cancel that with his Assassinate, or Axe just going in and calling him out of it. Shrine being activated from inside the base. This Enigma having a tough time. Looks like a blink maybe on the menu, but Sniper's active Mjolnir will not be able to be going to use now as Enigma escapes from that initiation. These racks still slowly being whittled down by Alpha Male. Very cautious of an Enigma blink initiation. I feel like you don't have to be that cautious. There's enough things that can cancel it, and your team's going to bail you out. Dusa moving forward again. 1 and 13. All aboard the struggle bus. Radiant seem to be holding their high ground for now. Dire don't want to get too cheeky. Don't want to push their advantage too much, but they do have a 30,000 net worth advantage. I feel like in this case you can push. I feel like they're not going to do anything to you. This rack's very, very low. There's no reason why Sniper can't just go and 3-shot it down from the low ground. Looks like he's trying to finish off the creeps before going in to do so, but oh, there we go. Hookshot coming in, but of course Axe there to save the day. He's trapped in the cogs, going to be invised up. Black Hole coming in. Is there anyone around to stop it? Looks like Sniper will be down. Votano goes and BKB is going to be hopping into that freezing field, but the right-click damage will be enough. They do end up losing the Crystal Maiden as well as the Sniper. Axe to be one of our lonely survivors, able to go and blink himself to freedom. Takes a bounty rune on the way out, but unfortunately not a great play from the Dire team. Radiant showing some signs of life, but with a full set of racks and another half set gone, it's not looking too easy for them to come back into this. Our Dusa here, she's still not doing great in terms of net worth. In fact, our Marana and Dusa are the lowest two in the game. You see all of Dire really starting to get their act together. Even the Crystal Maiden now sitting above the Clockwork, who was second on the net worth chart for a long while. In fact, coming close to rivaling Lawrence, our Shadow Fiend, in terms of farm. Medusa has picked up the recipe for the Lincoln Sphere. Just going to make her way to that side shop and finally pick herself up a Lincoln's. Although she may run into some unfriendly peoples. Looks like Kreese will scatter out, and Axe just going to be going in. There's the call, and unfortunately Deuce is going to lose all that hard-earned money. Rest in peace, milady. Marana, she's slinking around. She's got herself a Maelstrom now. Nice farming tool, able to deal with the super creeps really well if it does come down to mega creeps. Gonna give the Radiant a fighting shot. But speaking of fighting shots, Kreese coming in is gonna be scouted out here. Looks like the gem is now picked up by the Clockwork, something that Dire are sure to notice. Kreese going to be trying to move out. They are going to be able to dust, and Kreese, I mean, he's revealed all over the place. Not only do they have the gem from the Clockwork, they now have a dust on him. Malefice coming in. They don't have the Black Hole. The BKB from the Enigma wearing thin. The rest of the Dire, they are going to be ready to move in. Slardar now knows that Enigma and this Clockwork with his gem are at the top of their kill list. So Medusa's still down. They don't have the Riki for 90 seconds. It seems like Dire are giving away some really important kills that can snowball the Radiant back into this. You see that little dip there? That's from just the Riki kill. Moving in. Now Axe is able to get 2. And they've got this Sniper just going to town. Alpha Male just starting to lay in the damage now with that ultimate orb to his name. And it looks like he is going to be picking up a Manta style, trying to bring more snipers into the party. Just get that Agi stacked up. Be able to purge off anything gross that comes your way. So we'll see what's going on with that. But Sniper just having a nice, quick, easy game. 11, 10, 27 for him. So a few more deaths than you'd like, but in this very fight-heavy game, that's what you'd expect. He's at the top of the net worth chart now for, you know, a good portion of this game, and he's contest up with the Slardar, who has held on surprisingly well. I like this double initiation. The Slardar and the Axe, they both feel it's their divine right to go in and blink and start the fight, so they just go at the same time usually. Last-ditch effort from the Shadow Fiend has picked up a Satanic. Not a super common choice from a Shadow Fiend this early on into the game, or rather, at this point in the game, but I guess it's his last-ditch effort. They're going in. Deuce is laying out that stone gaze, will end up getting picked off, and there's going to be the Requiem coming out from Lawrence. The black hole connecting onto 2. Is there anything that anyone could do? Looks like Crystal Maiden blinks into it, not realizing that BKB does not save you from the black hole, so it looks like Get Wrecked goes down as well as the Crystal Maiden, the axe. It's only the sniper alive. It's a full team wipe from the Radiant. Dire giving away a huge advantage for not a whole lot of reason there. Got a little bit cheeky there, wanting to go for kills, leaving the racks up. Again, building has not been a priority for the Dire. They leave this racks here with just a couple of shots left. They leave these racks up when they were completely exposed for several minutes. I feel like the sniper needs to do a little bit better of a job keeping his focus, keeping this on, getting lanes of super creeps going, because, I mean, the Radiant, they're showing signs of coming back into this. This could be a turnaround. You've now got Mirana getting very close to a Mjolnir. Definitely one of the best items to deal with super creeps pushing in, to deal with pushing out large creep waves very quickly. So, you know, if they get another team wipe onto the Dire heroes, Mirana can go push up this lane super quickly, wail down your tier 2s, and all of a sudden your tier 3s are under attack. Alright, Enigma. Looks like he's reached his level 25 right about now, and let's see what he picks up here. Could be... There we go, more Eidolons coming in, so bigger push coming through. Crystal Maiden going to be moving in. Again, there are still 2 tier 2s up for the Dire side, so these shrines are not in a huge amount of danger. Meanwhile, on the Radiant side, both shrines have been destroyed, so fewer places to TP to, fewer places to seek refuge from in a team fight. Alright, Sniper's about to rejoin the party here. It seems like Dire are not doing a phenomenal job saving for buybacks here. In fact, no one has buybacks, so they're just buying out items. And when it comes down to it, if there's another full wipe on the Dire, they're not going to be able to do anything to contest this here. Now, Clockwork goes in for a hookshot on to Get Wrecked. Even with the Blade Mail, I don't know if this is going to work out for him here. He's going to BKB himself, but the damage coming in from the right clicks of CM, apparently, finish him off. Alpha Male helping out, and that is going to be the gem on deck. Sniper picks that one up, so finally Radiant lose that pesky vision that's been giving Dire so much trouble throughout this game. Overall net worth, you see Shadow Fiend again with that Satanic. He's still kicking and screaming. He's trying to hold his place back at the top of the charts. He can do a lot of damage. He's pretty survivable. He's got the tools he needs for himself, but unfortunately this Dusa just seems like dead weight. She's trying her hardest. She's got herself 2 kills and 19 assists, but now, with just the Lincoln Sphere finished up at, what, like 46 minutes in the game, it's certainly not ideal, and she does not have buyback, so gotta make sure you don't go down here. These racks easily finished off by Get Wrecked, so another full lane of super creeps coming in down bottom. Just looking to rotate and do the same thing up top. Just a couple more pops of Sniper Shotgun, and they should be all over. See Dire much more cautious here than last time and engaging on the high ground. They're going in, making sure these lanes are clear, exhausting Radiant's resources. This big herd of Eidolons. It's doing a fair amount, but the super creeps are going to start to give him trouble. And now you see Kreese wanting to go and blink in. Sniper calls it right. It's Enigma's family now. Get Wrecked is going to be going in. He's BK beat up. They've got to watch this Stone Gaze. Ricky's going to be stunned up. Votano, she's dancing. Lawrence looking to channel off that Requiem. Will, in fact, get froze up. Will be able to get off the Requiem. Immediately dies, though. And now they're looking for the Enigma. He's BKB'd. He's invised up. Axe going in, looking for that call. Will not find it. Instead, Clockwork looks like he could be rotating in to try to initiate onto the Dire heroes. But the rest of the Dire, they're going in. They're getting what they want. Surprised they haven't rotated top yet for these exposed, unbackdoor protected racks. And there we go. Get Wrecked moving in. Now, having a halberd to his name. Stats are great, passives are great, and of course the active means that no more right click from you, Shadow Fiend, no more right click from Enigma, and certainly Dusa. Not doing a whole lot. There's no buyback right now on the side of the Dire team, and now Mega Creeps come in the way of the Radiant, and I don't know if that's something they can deal with here. Enigma just going to be 3-shot down here, and very well played by our Dire team, finally grouping together and getting it done. Very nice little effigy there. And Get Wrecked just moving in. Looks like tier 4 towers are down. The Ancient is exposed. And it looks like it to be the end after a advantage was kind of lost and then immediately brought back. Dire, they had their fun, and here they're just looking to end it. BKBs into the fountain as the Ancient falls. Well played, Dire squad. I want to give a huge shout out here to the Ricky. I gave him a little bit of flack early on for just kind of trailing around Enigma in the jungle, but that is absolutely a strategy that worked for him. Great job, Crystal Maiden. Definitely like those freezes. Interesting build, not prioritizing the Frostbite over the Crystal Nova, but clearly it worked out. And of course, Axe and Slardar, a big boy initiators, just blinking in to every fight. Fearless, manly, they got it done. So well played. Again, I hope you enjoyed this replay cast. If you'd like your own replay cast, head on over to moonducktv/replaycast. Select your favorite caster. You can upload your replay and yeah, try to keep the time limit in check. This game was perfect at 53 minutes, so like 40 to 60 minutes. Definitely that sweet spot window for a great cast. So again, thank you. Feel free to leave any feedback. If you need to contact me, you can email me at anniecasts@gmail.com. Have a nice day.